You all know life is better with a hat, right? Hey everybody, I am Leticia Ringe, and today we're talking all about waiting for the inspiration. So, you've been here before. You don't have the answers, you don't know the how, or maybe it's that you don't know what it is that you want. Maybe you don't have the vision. And so you're in this moment of your beautiful journey where you're waiting for inspiration. This is something that is super duper obvious, or it's something that you know because you feel like you're efforting, you're trying to push a boulder up a hill, or you feel like you're really trying to control. You might feel frustrated, or you might simply feel confused. You, my beautiful friend, when you feel this way in your business or in your life, because how we do business is how we do life, is when you're in the stage of waiting for inspiration. And this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about what to do when you're in this phase rather than what we usually do in this phase that leads us to prolonging the waiting phase or simply not enjoying the waiting phase. So here's how it could work out. When you don't have these details, your mind wants you to do something. It wants you to work it out. It wants you to find the answer. It wants you to figure out the 10-point plan, the 10 steps. It wants you to map out the entire vision. But you don't have this effortlessly flowing through to you. You don't have this ease where you're just this beautiful receiving mechanism for the inspiration. It's not there yet. It's not cooked yet. So instead, the mind is not trusting and it's getting a little frantic. And so it wants to pull out these details from probably what it sees other people doing, things you've done in the past. It just wants an answer. But you know that it's not the right answer because it's not an inspired idea. It hasn't come through to you clearly, right? That's where the clarity is. So what we tend to do in these waiting phases, which is so beautiful and necessary, is we instead try to fill it with trying to work it out, right? We think, look, if I just try to work out a little harder, if I just spend a little bit longer thinking about this, if I just ask a few more people, if I just do, this is going to help me bring in the inspiration. But the truth is, what actually brings in the inspiration is the space. So when we're in a space of waiting for inspiration, what we want to do is actually allow the space. We want to create space for ourselves, create space for the inspiration. This is what feminine energy is all about. So rather than immediately filling up that space that is being called, we want to sit with it, allow the space. And that feels uncomfortable for our mind because we have to trust that it's coming. And that is part of our heart, our soul, our intuition, our essence, our connection to all that is. Trusting is feminine energy. Our mind, which operates in a masculine energy way, wants the details, wants the answers, but we don't have them. So the mind is operating from this fear-based perspective where it's not trusting, that's not its job. It's there to keep us safe. It's there to look for all of the problems. It's there to find solutions. Meanwhile, we know through our inner voice, our inner being, our intuition, our sense of knowing, our heart, our soul, that everything is okay, that the answer will come, that we're abundant, that we're in the perfect place, that it's going to come through. We will receive that inspiration. So we have these two different voices within us, and that is what makes waiting difficult because it specifically requires trust. And the reason we don't want to just sit there trying to find the answers and work it all out is because that then fills up the space that you are being given as a gift when you don't have inspiration. You're filling it up with all of this activity and doingness rather than sitting in the beingness or at least enjoying that time. If we knew that it was going to take a certain amount of time before we received the inspiration and that no matter what we were going to do here until we received that inspiration, it was going to maybe get us like a little bit further forward to where we want to go or aligned with what we want to do. But they're just going to be like tiny little jumps. Whereas when this comes through, it's going to feel easeful and fun and all the good things, and it's going to quantum leap you forward, right? If we knew that, then we would trust that that's going to happen. If we knew it, we would have faith that it was going to happen. And that would mean that we would free up space here to actually receive the inspiration. And what we might do during this time is focus our attention on other things in our businesses or our lives. We might ask ourselves, well, what feels like fun? We might play. Now, the reason this is so important is not only for the receiving of the inspiration, but also for the journey itself. So if you allow yourself to rest and relax during the moments that you don't have the inspiration, if you allow yourself to play and have fun and focus and tend to other areas of your life, and our life being this beautiful garden that requires constant nurturing and attention across all the different areas that make us a whole person and that we need to feel like we're holistically thriving. If we allow those times when we're waiting for inspiration in our business to be times that we're focusing on these other aspects of our lives, it means that when we receive the inspiration, when we receive the green light, the go ahead, it's time to now act because you have the inspiration. It means that we come from a place where we are rejuvenated, we're ready. This is sustainable business, okay? So it's not about filling up those gaps, right? Where it's not going to make the most sense to move forward because it's only going to be really small leaps because they're not inspired or aligned. Use that time instead to take care of the other aspects of your life or even the other aspects of your business. Now, we can also, of course, use this in our life as well. If there is a particular area where you're waiting for inspiration, wait for the inspiration in that area. Shift your attention to other areas of your life or to your business or to your career. Shift it and don't force the answers coming through. Allow yourself to rest and relax in that area so that when the inspiration does come through, you are ready to go. This is what allows us to practice sustainability and to feel a sense of balance in our life. Balance is not about doing everything at the same time. It's about being able to care to that garden that has the different needs, being able to respond to them as needed. And so as part of that, we have to be able to trust that everything has a perfect time to move forward and to act. And when that perfect time is a time that you will absolutely 100% know that this is the inspiration, this is the clarity, this is the time. That will be clear to you. There will be no question. So anytime there is still a question, my invitation to you is to just play with waiting a little longer. I think that there are so many situations in our life where if we just waited a little bit longer, we would allow the magic to come through. So ask yourself, can I wait a little bit longer? Is there a little bit more of this to be developed? And when we think about creativity as a process and what we can learn from working with our cycle, the menstrual cycle or the moon cycle, is that there is, it's this long process creativity. And each has its own particular phase to be in, to enjoy. Before we jump to the next phase of the project, let's just stay here a little bit longer, because we're time abundant and we want to be present with where we're at right now. So enjoy this. And this is the same as, when you're starting a business, enjoy where you are in this moment. When you're at the start of offering something new, enjoy it for a little longer, right? Be with where you are and wait for the inspiration when you don't have it. This will help you so much along your business journey. Now, recently this came up for me. I just come back from a holiday and I was waiting for the inspiration, and I thought that holiday is going to give me the inspiration. And then by the time I got back, I still didn't have it. And my mind was like, Leticia, what is going on? Where's the inspiration? And so the doubt was kicking in, right? Because it hadn't arrived to the timeline that my mind had decided was the right timeline for it, not the actual timeline. And so I was in this uncomfortable period of needing to wait to push the edges a little longer of what felt comfortable and safe to my mind. So I sat there in this conflict with the mind, not with the actions I was taking. It was with the mind because it felt uncomfortable. But all it was feeling uncomfortable. And I'm willing to feel uncomfortable. And so within another 72 hours, I then had a complete download come through. An entire course I'm running, all of the details, absolutely everything, plus a couple of other projects, right, that I had been waiting months for. All at once, all came through, all ready to act on. Within 24 hours, I had moved forward on all of those projects, and in a way where I had my inspired, deeply knowing energy behind me. Certainty, right? This was not something to question. I knew that this is the inspiration. It's time to act. The inspiration is what carried me. I like to see it as catching a wave. I caught the wave, and then the energy from that inspiration and the alignment, the wave itself, carried me in taking the action to execute. And that is what allows for easeful and effortless creations in your business and in your life. But we only are able to see the wave, to catch and prepare for the wave, if we allow ourselves to wait for the wave, if we allow ourselves to relax, to be in the ocean, relaxing and prepared for when the wave comes, because we've got the energy. We're not distracted trying to swim and find all the things. We're just like, hey, I know this is going to come. The wave is coming, and I'm just going to be here with myself in the ocean, enjoying myself and looking after the other areas of my life. And then that wave is going to come. And when it comes, I'm going to be ready and I'm going to be carried. So my beautiful friends, if you are in that phase of waiting for the inspiration, create space for yourself, allow yourself to focus on other areas of your life that do have the inspiration and energy behind them. Take time to rest and relax. Don't allow your mind to beat yourself up for not doing anything, and just allow yourself to push those edges a little bit longer. Allow yourself to sit in the discomfort of the mind so that you can allow that beautiful knowing and inspiration and co-creation with the universe to come through in its own time. All right, everybody, I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you in the next one.